Hi, welcome to vocal.org. We are here with members of the Guardian Angels, and a little bit of trivia about the Guardian Angels. I don't know if you knew this, Camilla. Their uniform, the Guardian Angels uniform, is pretty distinct. It's the red and white. In 1981, the CBS made a movie called We're Fighting Back, and it was about the Guardian Angels story. And Ellen Barkin was in it. Yeah, she was from the Bronx. And Angels members actually signed releases giving Warner Bros. Permission to depict their lives. In some cases, their brand or identity was used by others. Apparently, there's a world championship wrestler named Ray Taylor who wrestled under the alias the Guardian Angel.
That's
Is that right?
I was the actual Guardian Angel member who trained him in the streets.
You did? Really?
I did. I have the videos at home.
Okay. And a little more trivia. And he had a uniform and everything. And also, this is really wild. I didn't know Casio released a limited edition watch. You guys know about this?
Yeah, sure do. Yeah, we have watches, Guardian Angel watches.
Wow.
Should have brought you some memorabilia and all that stuff.
And it's like, it had a medal, it's printed, it said "We Dare to Care" and Guardian Angels and Safety Patrol on it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You guys are like a brand name, the Guardian Angels.
Right.
You're famous for being
30 years.
We were on the New York City LA train in New York, and there was a guy who had a gun on the train. And so one of the members actually seen the handle. And he summoned the other guys with a signal. We came into the car. He let the leader know, which was myself, that this guy here had a gun. So instead of us, trying to grab this guy, we didn't want the situation to explode. We let the train conductor know. We stayed in the car, kept our eye on him, let the train conductor know that, there's a guy in here on the train who has a gun. The train conductor pulled the train halfway into the station, summoned the police, and when the police got there and pulled this guy off the train, he not only had one gun, but he had two guns. So that could have been a very nasty situation had we not handled it properly.
You guys have kind of you seem very careful in your approach. Like, you're not.
You have to be, because you never know what you're up against, and that's part of our training, to observe situations, not to just go rushing in, but to observe and definitely call the police upon any type of situation, because those are the hired guns who are professionally trained with pistol and whatever else they may need to get situations under control should they escalate to that. And get the local residents from within that community, within that city, involved in the effort. And those people are the ones who will be patrolling that city. Nobody knows that city better than the residents and the people who live there. So it's not like you got outsiders coming in here to patrol the streets. You got outsiders who may be coming in here to develop and teach the locals about citizens arrest procedures and how you go about making a citizen's arrest and what has been effective for us in other cities. However, then it is up to those citizens to use those things in their own city and find out what works within their city, because they live there. They know it better. They live there. And that's what local law enforcement realizes, that these are our own local citizens who live here who are now fighting crime on their own streets.
All right, you heard it here on vocal.org. We're going to continue speaking with the Guardian Angels. Let's take a pause for the cause, and we'll be right back.
And stepped in when they saw a gun. Quad Cities News Channel's Christy Mergenthal is live in the newsroom with the details. Christy?
Matt, the Guardian Angels say they were just wrapping up their shift for the night when they noticed 4 people arguing. The arguing quickly grew into physical fighting, and that's when the Angels got involved. After a year and a half of patrolling Davenport streets, the Angels say they arrested their first person armed with a handgun. After 2 o'clock this morning, the Angels say an argument started outside Kilkenny's bar at nearby apartments. When 2 men began to drag a third out of a doorway, 2 Angels ran over to break them up. One man yelled another had a gun, and that's when the Angels took charge.
I had the guy locked in a guillotine choke, so his head's right here. I've got my arm under his throat, holding him secure. So I swung my arm underneath him to clear his arms and check for weapons and basically just secure the area and keep the gun, safely pointed out of, the direction of anyone else. When I looked back behind me, I saw a gun at my feet. Told Bart, hey, there really is a gun.
And tonight the Angels say that gun actually did have a whole magazine, and they hope they may have saved lives. Reporting live tonight in the newsroom, Christy Mergenthal, Quad Cities News Channel 8.
Thank you, Christy. The Angel.
Wow, guys. Okay, now I have another question. I was looking at that. You know, the guy just had a red beret and a white T-shirt.
Right.
Have you guys ever been like? Has anyone tried to impersonate a guardian angel?
We've had that in years past.
Okay.
But again, we're trying to be the guardian angel, man. There's people who are going to love you, and there's going to be people who are going to hate you.
So it's not.
So you got to be really committed to what it is we do.
Right.
Because I mean, like any guy who goes out there and risks his life voluntarily to protect other people's lives, you're going to get people who love you, and you got a lot of criminals out there who would love to knock your block off.
That's what I was going to ask you. What made you want to become a part of the Guardian Angels?
Well, it was just, I guess, the responsibility of wanting to help other people and just to come to other people's aids in a time of need, wanting to see peace in the community, wanting crime to decrease, and just saying, what can I do to make a difference?
In a very direct way, though. I mean, it's not like... I mean, you're right there on the streets.
I'm right there in your face.
But let me ask you a sort of broader question, since... I mean, that's all well and good, but since 9/11... I mean, you are dealing, our whole show is about security. We are dealing with all sorts of new problems now. London had the attack on their subway. Do you ever ask yourself, what are we looking for? Is it just the petty criminals, or does it get larger than that?
Well, let's remember, ever since 9/11, what has law enforcement now told everyone? We need you to be vigilant. Not vigilantes, vigilant.
Keep an eye out can mean different things for different people. I mean, I'm an Arab, and I can walk into any situation and have someone follow me just by the mere fact that my name's Osama or something like that. So what does that mean? Like, how do you really trust that people can, like, police themselves? Racial profiling?
Well, remember, the thing that I just said, someone leaves a bag there on the floor. Not that if this guy looks funny, looks crazy, let's call the police, I think he's...
But that happens.
Yeah, it does happen. Yeah. However, sometimes there's that notion of being safe than sorry, but I don't think that other innocent citizens should become victims at the same time. Someone asks you, an officer asks you questions. If you don't have a gun, you don't have a gun. If you don't have a bomb, you don't have a bomb. It shouldn't be a big problem. However, if you are acting funny or you are acting crazy, it's better to have that checked out and better to be safe than sorry, with respect for the situation. Because even like myself, being an African-American male walking into a store or something and got on a hat or something, oh, he must be in here to steal, let's check him out.
Yeah.
Me, stuff like that doesn't bother me so much. I go do what I got to do, and sometimes you can see the security when I'm not in my uniform. You can see security guards watching you. That stuff doesn't bother me. I come in with my money. I come to buy whatever product I come to buy. You can watch me all night long.
Yeah.
That stuff like that doesn't bother me. I think it's your job to, if you see some type of suspicious activity or you think something might be wrong, it's your job to check it out.
And let's
just to look.
Yeah, I do believe in human instincts. I think people can tell sometimes someone's off.
Yeah.
But then you also have those who are a little abusive of power, and everybody looks like they're up to no good.
Sure.
Everybody looks like they're suspect. Right, yeah. So you have those people you have to deal with as well.